Hi, everyone. Hi. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Um, I am here today, but I couldn't give you guys a time as to when I was going to be here. It's been a hell of a day, just a real busy day, a big change in my schedule, and just, doing a lot today. So I am here, and like I said, I'm determined to show up here on the channel so that I can encourage everyone and motivate you to continue to move forward on your journey to healing. Although I am not a certified therapist, I don't have a degree in therapy or social work. I am just someone who's gone through a lot of grief, a lot of sadness, despair, a lot of loss. And I talk about effective ways that I have gotten through it. And hopefully, the things that I talk about here on this channel will also help you as well. Because when we share information, especially when we have gone through things, we can help other people when we have walked in those same shoes. So that's the purpose of this channel here. This, please keep in mind, this is a no judgment zone. We're here to uplift people and to help them because a lot of people are going through a lot of stress, anxiety, especially during the holiday time. Some people here, which I failed to mention before, might be spending their first holiday without their loved ones. And my condolences to anyone who's going through that. And I know what that feels like. Just take it one day at a time because, of course, you're going to feel that loss even greater. However, you don't have to stay in a place of grief, pain, and stagnation. And on this channel, we talk about it. What I do, I use myself as an example of what I've gone through and the healing work that I do on myself and that I continue to do. Therapy is a big thing with me, grief therapy, and talking to uh, my therapist weekly. And, it's so important, and there's no shame in that, because like I always say here, it's important to take care of our mental and physical health because without that, we can't do anything else, So that's the purpose of this channel. And for those who don't like talking about their pain, grief, anxiety, or trauma, or whatever it is that you're going through that is related to grief, and loss, just show up on the channel, hear the videos, and I hope that you hear something not only to uplift you, but that you can apply into your own situation to help you as well. So today, guys, I hope you guys had a great day, and you're getting ready for the Christmas holiday. I know that I am looking forward to working like a few days next week and then being off until the second. So right now, I'm going to do something different. The title of this topic of discussion is called The Plot Twist. Although we talk a lot here about grief, depression, healing, what I'm going to talk about here as well, it's also related to healing because, I'm just going to use myself in these examples, and then you guys can take what applies or resonate with you, and then you can leave the rest out. But I named this topic today the plot twist. And I'm going to get into that. So, what I'm going to talk about here today is how, when you have situations in your life, when someone is being dismissive towards you, we're going to talk about that because that is part of a form of toxicity and abuse as well. When people are dismissive, whether it's family, whether it's a personal relationship or friendship or business, excuse me, or a business setting, whatever situation that it is, when someone is being dismissive towards you And there's no valid reason for that. I can't even say that. But when they are being dismissive, it is never okay. You know, it's never okay to make someone feel like they're not being heard. You know, this is also a form of abuse. We talk about toxicity. So today I'm going to talk about some things that are toxic and that can keep you in a place of stagnation, and it could slow down your growth to healing. And being dismissive towards someone, it shows to me like that out of everything, that is top one of the things that's on top of my list that I consider abuse. Because I've gone through that so much in the past with people, different situations, and it made me feel so small and so insignificant. And it was during a time where my self esteem was very low, and I was in a lot of pain, and I didn't know, you know, how to deal with it. And people, keep in mind here that pain has to have an outlet to go out, in order for the healing process to start. You have to have an outlet for that pain. And self care, when you are in a space of self care and wanting to take care of yourself, that's the beginning stages of the healing process. And that's what I had to learn, because I wasn't caring and loving on myself. I was busy being subservient to others. And people were not grateful for it, having me in their life, etc. And a lot of things I found abusive, but just to keep people around and keep situations, what if I didn't say anything about how I felt, or if I just kept it inside, it would just keep the friction low. So I believed, you know, and I was always in that subservient mode. And I had to learn, and it took me a while to learn that I matter. And for those here listening, you matter too. Your growth, your mental, physical health, all those things matter, because without that, you can't do anything else, and it's important to take care of yourself, to love on yourself. Never allow anyone to tell you you shouldn't love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, how can you give love to anyone or anything else? You have to love yourself. You have to take care of your physical and mental health. And that starts the healing process, no matter how slow it might be. Just don't give up. And when I say the plot twist, let me tell you what I'm talking about, guys, people. Um, it's like when I got to the point where I started to tell people how I felt about some of the things they were doing. On top of the list for me was dismissiveness. Like if I started to share what hurts me that they were doing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a personal relationship. It could be family. It could be friends. It could be whatever. And I started to slowly learn how to say how I felt, and to put it out there by saying, well, this hurt me, that hurt me. So maybe if you could do this, then I wouldn't feel this, to have those conversations, those difficult conversations with people. And when I started to first learn to do that, and I started to initiate those conversations, you know, I was one, here's one way I could describe being dismissive. I sat down with someone and said, this makes me feel a certain way. It hurts and blah, blah, and etc. And after I said what I had to say, it was like, girl, please. And that was the end of it. It's like what everything I said was just being dismissed, like it was insignificant. That to me will quickly me cause me to exit. And people don't seem to believe me, because I have conversations, um especially in a last situation, a dating situation, and I would have conversation after conversation, and I was told, wow, you like to talk. Yes, it's important, communication is the key factor. And why I like to talk is because I need to know that certain boundaries cannot be crossed with me. I'm not like, some people who might accept that and just sweep it under the rug. I'm not one of those individuals. I have feelings just like everybody else. But if something keeps reoccurring after communicating about it and it keeps happening, things are going to change and I'm just going to make my exit. And people don't seem to believe that. I don't have to act out of character. I don't have to use a lot of profanity, and I don't have to use a lot of, outbursts of emotion. I talk, I communicate. We have to talk about these things. And this person didn't have a lot to say. Um, you know, just dismissing things I was saying. And I would start to reiterate and emphasize specific things because it started to feel like I was being dismissed. And that's the worst thing with me because what happens is that I start to detach. And when I start to detach and you hear less and less from me, that means I'm moving away from this situation. And eventually, what happens, I go cold. And I know how I am. And I know I need anyone in my space, we need to have communication. That's important. That's the key factor because with me, if there's no communication, there's no healing, there's no growing, there's no resolving the situation. It's just stagnant and I can't stay there. So as I can continue to communicate and talk, and I'm still being dismissed each time until one day, um thereafter the person just thought that they could just leave, and then whenever they felt like coming back 5 6 months later, I'm supposed to be there to be waiting for them and to be subservient, and that wasn't the case. I had started working on myself, because when I noticed that things were not going to change for the better, and that person went on their way, I started to work on myself and know that I had to heal certain things and really do the work and ask myself, why am I attracting so many narcissists? Why am I attracting people who don't give a damn about me? They only care about what I can offer to them, or whatever it is. And I wanted to change that for the better because I don't deserve to be with someone who's a narcissist, who's self-absorbed, and someone who just want to they just want someone to take care of them. And I'm not here to take care of anyone. I'm here to take care of me. My needs matter. And I say that to anyone listening. Take care of yourself first. Take care of what your needs are, especially when it's mental and physical health and it comes to healing. It's so important to make that a priority. And it doesn't matter how other people feel about that because we're talking about healing, so that you can be the best version of yourself. And so it wasn't being believed. I was just being dismissed until one day when this person wanted to reconcile. It's like a no, I had no feelings because I had started to heal, move away from the situation. I did everything I could to communicate how I felt. And so now when people realize that you're not coming back, what I started to notice as I did the work and I started to really go through the pain and work on myself and do the homework that my therapist was giving to me as well as upping the music, looking at, meditating and looking at positive videos and things that I do to help myself when I feel that trigger of grief coming on. So when this person realized I wasn't coming back and it was really over, so the vicious lies come out now, starting lies, and I'm doing this, and I did this, A, B, C, and D. And when these things get back to me, some of this stuff, I just shake my head in disbelief because these are things that I would never engage in, things that I would never do. And people who know me know that. No, I would never do those things. But because I refuse to reconcile, now this person is bitter. And, I would say when a person contact me, you need to go to therapy. You need to start the healing process, so that, you can do better. When you feel better, you do better and you move on. Because I know myself, like once things start to go downhill and I start to communicate and a person is dismissive, it just, each time it happens, it just send me to the door. I'm just no longer interested. And when I lose interest altogether, there is no reconciling that. If it's like something, we had a disagreement because we had a bad day or something like that, that's resolvable. But when someone is dismissive, it's, to me, it's the highest level of disrespect. Basically, people, and I don't use a lot of profanity, what that says to me, it says, Lisa, you ain't shit. Basically, when someone does certain things to me, and that's unacceptable, and I'm not going to deal with it. And a plot twist is that people always get me, they get it twisted up when it comes to me. They think they can do whatever, whenever, and oh, Lisa is going to be sitting there waiting. No, the plot twist is I'm never coming back, and they don't get it. The plot twist is when people, no matter whether it's a business setting, it's a personal setting, or a family, or whatever, if a person is not willing to communicate and resolve things and they're just being dismissive, like I'm invisible, like I'm not even there, giving me the hand and all that other disrespectful stuff, I'm not going to allow myself to continue to engage and communicate with people like that. And I had to learn. It took me a long time to talk about these things, to get from A to B. It took me over 3, 4, 5 years, and I'm still learning what to do, when to do, and how to interact with people like that. What I do now, it just, when people sometimes, when you're dealing with narcissists, and they can't get their way, and you're not the same person anymore because you grew and you healed, they don't take it well, some of them, and I dealt with a couple of narcissists, and they don't take it well because they want to win at any given cost. And what they don't understand, if they put all of that energy that they're feeling into healing themselves and doing the work to heal themselves, they would be phenomenal. They would be a force to be reckoned with if they took all that energy and put it into healing the places where they feel the most pain and brokenness, and putting that together again. It's a lot of work, and it's not easy. But if they persevered in doing that, they would be a force to be reckoned with, instead of reflecting on what somebody else have going on. They're putting all that energy into somebody else who no longer cares about it, because that person has moved on and healed. And people don't understand that. And when you get on the wagon, a bandwagon to heal, and you're very serious about it, and it may be slow at first, but if you continue to persevere, you start to see results, even though the steps may be slow. You're serious about this, And then one day they wake up and I'm gone, and there's nothing they can say or do to reconcile anything with me. Because one of the things with me is dismissiveness. I can't stand that. It's, to me, it closes the door to everything. And I say plot twist all the time because it is unexpected with people, like family and certain people that I've dealt with. I even had one person tell me, girl, sit down, shut up, which is also dismissive. It's abusive. And like, you're not going anywhere. Where are you going? Kind of attitude. Until I actually just remove myself, cut off, block, and delete. And now I will have those difficult conversations. But when a person continue to be abusive in that manner, I cut off, block, and delete. When I In the beginning, as I started learning these lessons and going through the healing process, I would block some people, and then I would feel bad, and then I would unblock them, give them another chance, and they come back and do something worse. So from that, I learned never allow a snake to bite you twice, because the second bite could be deadly. And so I learned lessons, and I don't just block people. I think about it, have these conversations, and if the same behavior pattern continues and etc., then I block and then I move on, and I leave people where they are, because it's important for me not to, what's the word, not to allow myself to be distracted off this path to healing. This is for real. This is serious. This is not a joke, and I do the work. It's not easy, you know, and I'm in now. My purpose is, from all this pain and everything that I've gone through and praying and asking God to help me. I'm so grateful because God has helped me and he has lifted me up. And my purpose now is to help other people by, talking about things I've gone through and how I'm still persevering through it, fighting through things, the pain and everything, and not being ashamed of it. And that's what I want to say to other people listening to. Never be ashamed what you've gone through, because your experiences is going to make you more stronger, and after you come out of those things, you can be a source of encouragement to others who may be going through what you've already went through. You can share your experiences and how you got through it, because someone somewhere always need to hear this, and it's important. And that's what I do on this channel. I personalize these things that I talk about by letting people know that I've gone through so much, and God has lifted me up. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be here. But God will take you from the dirt and from nothing, and will raise you up and put you in a position to help other people. Never think that you can't do that. I never thought I would be on here sharing these experiences with other people, and but I know it's going to help someone, and because some people are in a place where they're isolating themselves and they're in depression, pain, and they're not talking about that pain, but they can come here and listen to messages and be uplifted, because knowing that they're not in that situation alone, there are other people like myself who've gone through things. There are things that I don't even talk about that I've gone through. Maybe one day, but not today. Is not that day. But I'm still learning and I'm still growing. And it's important that other people know that there's hope, so that they don't lose hope. Hope is one thing they should not lose. Um, know that, for me, I learned to turn the pain into power, power into purpose, purpose into paying it forward to help other people who need to hear the message, who need to be uplifted. And that's so important, because so much is happening in this world today. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of I don't give a damn attitudes out there. And you need to know that you do matter, and that you are significant and that you matter. And even though you're going through a difficult time, don't give up and don't give in. Allow yourself to feel the pain. There's ways to get through it. If you love music, have a playlist of music. The most important thing is to nurture yourself, nurture your inner child, because sometimes that inner child is traumatized by things, especially if you go through a lot of loss and you go, dealing with a lot of toxicity and abuse. All these things is part of healing, that will, that's something that you need to jump on a bandwagon to healing. And don't rush the process, go at your own pace. As long as you do something positive, it's important to keep your environment positive. And for me, it's important that I don't have a lot of toxicity around me. I had to uproot it and then remove it from my life. And it wasn't easy, blocking people, cutting people off that I known so long that was a part of my life. but it was necessary because it was interfering with my healing process. And my healing process is everything to me. Because if I don't heal, I can't grow. I'll stay in a place of stagnation, which I don't want. It's not good for my mental or physical health. So that's what I had to do, and it's important because when one door closes, always remember that God will open. I don't know, the camera froze for a moment, but I'm going to repeat what I just said. Remember that when one door closes, God will open up another door, a better one, and just keep moving forward. Take baby steps and show up on this channel. That's the message today, everyone. Please share this video with others who really need to hear the message. Subscribe to the channel because every day will be a new message, except for the weekends. I'm not on the weekends. And hit that share and like button. Thank you for being here today. Everyone have a great evening, and I'll be back to see you again tomorrow. Have a good evening, everyone. Bye for now.